Georgia, but they can play a half-court game also. They want to establish the inside presence of Michelle Van Gorp and go inside right away.
Howard guarded by Kelly Miller. Into Van Gorp. They'll try to double her whenever they can. Erickson, double clutch. Wouldn't go for her. Peppy Brown got a hand on it, but here comes Kelly Miller. Erwin Oswald with a long-range jumper won't go. Brown with a rebound. This is Hillary Howard, the point guard. Pushes it ahead to Erickson. Back to Peppy Brown. Nice fake. And the drive, it wouldn't go. Duke's had two halfway down.
Two good shots by Duke. You just got to keep going, and hopefully they don't keep falling out like that.
Kelly Miller out to Coco, and her twin sister buries a three. They look for each other, don't they?
Well, some of the opponents have said that sometimes it's easier to play against Georgia when they are playing together because they're the only two players that look for each other.
Erickson out of the corner. She answers with a three. Nicole Erickson, who had 24 against ODU and 17 against Tennessee in the region. Coco Miller outside to Tawana McDonald. She won't shoot from there very often.
And as much as the perimeter game is for Georgia, they're a team that has always had like 3-4 guard offense. And right now they're in a 3-guard offense. They don't have the inside presence like a Duke does.
6 to shoot, they throw it away. Erwin Oswald will retrieve, but they lose it.
They are a young team, and Pam Erwin Oswald is the only senior on this team, so decision-making is going to be very important in how emotional this team becomes and if they're going to get rattled or not.
Schweitzer will inbound to Howard. Howard driving on Miller. Brown always gives it that good head fake. This time she got the roll. Peppy Brown is so quick that when people come out on her, she'll blow right by them.
She's not a great outside shooter, so defensively you got to know to give up that shot.
McDonald against Van Gorp, she walked.
Peppy Brown at the high post, and defensively, ball just gets caught going for the fake. And if you're guarding her, go ahead and let Peppy Brown make that 15-footer because, as you said, Mike, she's so tough going to the basket and underneath getting rebounds.
The officials in this game, Scott Yarbrough, Kim Balku, Marino, and Dennis DeMayo. Our congratulations to them for being selected to do this semifinal game.
Georgia's really going to try and concentrate on doubling and tripling Michelle Van Gorp. So the perimeter players are going to have to step up for Duke and really get in good spots to relieve her to give a good pass.
Erwin Oswald against Erickson. They try to lob it down low and knocked out of bounds. It's out to Georgia.
Peppy Brown is only 5'11", but she really can jump high, and she does a good job defensively by bending her knees against the taller opponents.
Elena Vishniakova will come in to replace Angie Brown in Andy Lander's lineup. Kelly Miller with a fadeaway jumper. We're tied at 5. Here's full court pressure. They do a good job of breaking it.
And the two games that Georgia won against Clemson and Iowa State, it was because of their defense that really got things going for them.
Brown again underneath. Peppy Brown, who was a huge factor in the regionals, already has 4 of Duke's 7 points in this game.
Brown only averages about 9 points, but she can go off for some. It's always that X factor on a team on what player that really doesn't score a lot of points that's going to step up.
McDonald working on Van Gorp and dribble it off her leg out of bounds. 3rd turnover so far for Georgia.
Kelly Miller, the All-American, she can take it to the basket. She's a little bit better defender than Coco and probably likes to break down the defense. Coco is more of an attacker than Kelly Miller is. Kelly Miller will take the ball and she can break the defense down.
She has 3 double-doubles in 4 NCAA games, says Kelly Miller.
Oh, nice.
Great pass to Schweitzer. So when Peppy Brown isn't scoring, she's giving the perfect feed.
Well, that time they did a good job defensively. They were going to let her take the outside shot, but you've got to guard the other players. McDonald walks. Been a tough start for the freshman. what Duke is doing for McDonald is they're allowing her to receive the basketball. Van Gorp is just laying off her, and so what McDonald is doing, she sees the wide open court and tries to take to the basket, and she's had 3 turnovers off the travel.
Deanna Nolan comes in for the first time. She wears number 14 for the Lady Bulldogs.
And so you wonder about matchup problems because Duke should have the size advantage with Van Gorp in there.
If they can just get it to her. And they do in the post. That's one of her favorite moves. And Van Gorp hits the jumper. Duke is up by 6.
Oh, nice drive.
Nolan, pretty play down the baseline.
Duke forgot that somebody new was in. That was Michelle Van Gorp's player that went out, and nobody picked Dolan up.
Schweitzer, good ball movement to Brown, who would rather drive than shoot from the outside. But Erickson will shoot it from the outside. Erickson has 6. The lead has grown to 7. Duke, very impressive early.
Erickson, over a 40% three-point shooter.
Nolan with a miss. Kelly Miller.
Look at the block outside Duke, keeping Georgia off the offensive glass. They did get 2 opportunities. That's the one thing that Duke did against Tennessee so well was screen them off the boards, allowing Tennessee only 1 shot at the basket. That's just what they did to Georgia.
Duke off to a great start. Van Gorp able to get the ball in low, and Georgia doesn't have anyone who can match her. The playing so he can go back and forth between the men's and the women's Final Four.
How nice is that?
Well, how great is that?
But also it shows kudos to both programs, because I think if one program is strong and they get along, it's just everybody is happier.
Oh, absolutely. Schweitzer for 3. People wondered how Duke would come out here in the Final Four after the emotion of that tremendous upset over Tennessee. Just fine, thanks.
The 2 teams that beat Tennessee, Purdue early in the season, came out here to the West Coast, lost to Stanford. LSU beat Tennessee, lost to Kentucky, and so people were wondering about Duke. Are they going to have that same emotional high and lose to Georgia?
Coco Miller with a nice answer on the jump shot. 17-9.
I think this team has really come in focused. I think they've got enough experience with the senior leadership, and yet they've got good youth because they're excited to be here.
Brown. The collision with Vishniakova, and Vishniakova will pick up her 2nd.
Right now, Duke is really doing a good job getting the ball inside, passing it out. They are getting shots off the pass. That's where they're scoring. Not off. They're getting dribble penetration, but then they're kicking it out to the spotter-up shooters.
Nice crossover by Howard to get open. She missed. Van Gorp couldn't keep it alive. And here comes Kelly Miller. Excellent ball handler, both she and her sister. Ball with a turnaround jump shot. Can't hit it. Georgia quite cold right now.
And that's the first time Georgia's had an opportunity to get a shot in the lane.
Continue to be very aware of Van Gorp inside. Peppy Brown cuts down the lane. Miller, excellent outlet pass to her sister ahead to Nolan. And you can see how athletic Nolan is. Being able to double clutch in the air.
Only a sophomore from Flint, Michigan, was Michigan Player of the Year.
Duke's lead is 6.
Duke also does a very good job forcing the defense to play.
Howard with a shot clock at 4. Van Gorp, offensive rebound. Likes that turn to her right, sort of forced it up and lost it on the way up.
Yeah, the little jump hook to the, just going to the right side, putting it back up. Nice pass. Oh, it was a good look, but there's Peppy Brown again.
Well, she's something.
She's so hard to see because she just gets down so low, and then all of a sudden she pops up like a jack-in-the-box.
Howard acted like she was going to pass the ball and then took it in for the shot and drew the foul on Kelly Miller. Saturday, you'll see the best diaper dandies in the world as ESPN brings you the Nike Hoop Summit. The top high school seniors in the United States face an international high school all-star team. You'll see the stars of tomorrow, Sunday. For more, tune into ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com.
Hillary Howard is one of those killer guards that the Purdue backcourt, Makari Figs and Stephanie White-McCarty, has gotten so much exposure and publicity because of their senior leadership. But you cannot count out Howard and Erickson. They don't have the size or the height that the Purdue backcourt does. But these two at 5'6", because of their leadership, their decision-making in that Tennessee game in the last 16 minutes, did not turn the ball over.
Yeah, that was remarkable because they had been plagued by that against ODU. And in the first half and the first fourth of the second half, they turned it over so much, and they just clamped it down. Howard hits 1 out of 2, 18-11. McDonald is back in at the pivot. She'll shoot from 16 and hit it.
Now that's a nice playing coming in. I'm sure Andy Lander said, look, you've got a 15-foot free throw shot. Go ahead and take it. Do not put the ball on the floor.
Schweitzer, she likes that runner. McDonald with a rebound. Miller will push it. Coco Miller. Saved by Nolan. Good rebound.
Well, Nolan at 5'10". We saw her grab the rim yesterday in practice.
McDonald again. I think they're going to let her have that shot as often as she wants to take it. Nearly stolen by Miller.
That's a smart play by Duke. Just step back and then go to the defensive boards.
Howard kicks it to Black, who's in for the first time. To Peppy Brown. Off balance, she got it anyway. Peyton Black with the dish to Peppy Brown, who has half a dozen.
Brown looks so out of control sometimes.
Nolan goes right by Brown with a little hesitation dribble. She has 6 off the bench.
Dolan missed the first 10 games of the season. She was a top 48 kid last year. She had a little bit of a knee injury, and so she had to get into shape.
Black gets it down low, and she is fouled. Let's see who picks it up. It's going to be on McDonald. That's her first. The Blue Devils with a 5-point lead with 11:10 to go first half. Their inside passing has gotten the job done against Georgia.
Announcing the most exciting promotion in Buick history. We're getting
one spot for a big chunk of the season. People talk so much about Tennessee, they forget that Purdue has been #1, and that's going to be the first Duke turnover of the ball game. So they went the last 16:09 of the last one, and the first 9 minutes and 51 or 8 minutes and 51 seconds of this one. That's remarkable.
And the difference for Georgia is they're going to have to pick up their defense and capitalize on plays like that.
Erwin Oswald back in the ball game. This is McDonald. She'll try from 17. She's hit 2 out of 3 from there. Van Gorp, or whoever is playing the pivot right now for Duke, it's Peyton Black. I'm simply not going to come out on her.
Well, what's happening, too, McDonald, if you notice her shot, she is away from the free throw line. She brings herself in there with that one step. So you know she's going to shoot the ball. She can't put the ball on the floor. So that's when you need to commit yourself on the defensive end to kind of distract and be a defensive player.
Van Gorp isn't in there right now. Howard picked up the dribble. This is Black. Good quick ball movement, hasn't given them anything yet. 8 to shoot. Black against the double team. Nearly thrown away. 3-2 on the shot clock. Schweitzer, one-hand elbow pair. Erickson nearly made it.
Great presence of mind to get it up there. But Georgia's picking up the defensive pressure. And Duke needs to settle down a little bit.
Vishniakova, the exchange student from the Soviet Union.
There you see Black come up.
Shot clock at 7. Kelly Miller looks for the screen and gets it. There's the double team. Ball knocked away and a foul call.
A break for Georgia because it looked like Black really made a nice move stepping out on the defensive end on the screen.
Tomorrow on ABC, the World Figure Skating Championship presented by MasterCard from Helsinki, Finland. You'll see the pairs free skate in the ladies short program, including a performance from Michelle Kwan. Tomorrow at 2:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific on ABC. Our buddy Terry Gannon over in Helsinki, Finland. For more information, ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com.
This Duke team has 6 seniors on it. And Gail Gessenford has done a wonderful job. 3-time ACC Coach of the Year. just stepping up, and as Mimi Griffin said, she has a lot of poise, and she just really kind of sends that message to her players.
She said she just hasn't had enough time to celebrate this one yet after playing on Monday. Here's the tournament history. Obviously, the big edge in appearances, Final Fours, and title games goes to Georgia, but neither has won an NCAA championship.
Georgia has great tradition here at this school. They've had unbelievable players come through.
McDonald got it down to Vishniakova. Vishniakova scores her first bucket, of the lead is cut to 1.
But this young 1999 team is making a name for themselves.
Erickson guarded by Kelly Miller.
What Erickson is doing is taking away the passing lane. She's just moving a little bit too close to the inside.
Brown tripped on the way down the lane. That's Vishniakova, I believe, and if it's her, it will be her third personal.
Vishniakova can add some, not only defensive with her size, but also with her rebounding in that size, but she gets tripping Peppy Brown there, and Erickson calling over the offense, saying we got to set something up a little bit better. But also give credit to Dolan. I was just going to say they've done a good job keeping the ball out of Schweitzer's hands.
Now Nolan goes for the double team, and Schweitzer is open, and she drains it.
Well, so much for that.
Well, you were right. She had done a great job until then, but she went for the double team, and that's all the space that Erickson needed.
Peppy Brown just sagged totally off of Deanna Dolan. Georgia is going to have to try and do a better job and find the shooters from the outside and get the ball in their hands. What they're doing, Georgia right now, the ball is ending up in the hands of players that shoot the ball from the inside. And
they just called a second foul on Tawana McDonald, giving Duke the basketball. So the Blue Devils lead has grown back to 4 with 8:55 to go in the first half. There's Van Gorp, immediately triple team. Erickson trying to fake Miller, then gets a screen, and boy, Erickson is just on fire.
That kind of hurt my body when she was doing all that stuff in the air.
You got to have a good back to make that move. Erwin Osborne got caught up in the air and threw it away. Parent into the game for the first time to Erickson. Back to Parent. Nice pass. Can't hit the shot.
Nicole Erickson, the 5'6" senior, up in the air and making ball fakes all over the place. Dribble drive with the pull-up. She's good at going to the basket. She's good at three-point shots. She's good at taking it to the defense.
Rochelle Parent picked up that last foul. Ball with a turnaround jump shot. That was nicely set up. She had the height advantage on Peppy Brown and got her first 2 points.
When Georgia can get the spacing and get a nice pass inside, the post players have done a pretty good job getting open shots against the Duke defense.
Van Gorp got away from McDonald, then lost it on the dribble.
Van Gorp likes to get the ball away from the basket, but she likes to turn to the left. She's right-handed, but sometimes you've got to see the opening the defense gives you, and that's when you take the shot, and she's put herself in trouble a couple of times.
Call a foul on Peppy Brown on that last play. It will be Georgia's ball when we come back.
Schweitzer for 3. Erickson penetrating out to Schweitzer. Another 3. Great ball movement. Nice pick. They're taking advantage of everything Georgia's giving them at this point. Back to you guys.
You always have a better opportunity to score off the pass rather than the dribble.
7:44 to go first half. Kelly Miller and her sister Coco have been rather quiet scoring-wise so far. Really haven't lit everything up.
I talked to Gail Gessencourse before the game. She said what we need to do is that basically what they did in Chemical-Hospaw in Tennessee is shadow their shooters. Once the ball is out of Kelly and Coco Miller's hands, we are going to face guard them. We're going to try and deny them the ball so they are not the ones not only shooting the ball but passing the ball. Make other players beat you.
Lauren Rice into the ballgame for the first time. She gave them a big lift in Greensboro when she came off the bench. Erickson got by Miller. The bank shot won't go. Knocked out of bounds. That's out to Georgia. Right now, and it doesn't seem like the tempo is in Georgia's favor.
No, not at all. But Duke is a little rattled in their offense, too. They're ahead right now. Georgia cannot get on the floor in the offense because of their defense.
McDonald against the double team. Excellent defense, but the ball goes right to Ball, and she laid it in. That's a good break for the Lady Bulldogs.
And those are the kind of opportunities they need to take advantage of.
Erickson against Kelly Miller.
I think Georgia really on their defense, too. You're looking to see the double down low. But Duke is really having a lot of trouble in their screens. They're really kind of got a passing game going where they're cutting through the lane and everything. But Georgia's sagging on the defense, so the screens aren't being set. And Duke is not having the ability to pass the ball as well as they did in the past. But there you see the loose ball and Ball coming right up for it. And nice 2 points. Georgia with a chance to tie. Ball short on the jumper. McDonald with the offensive rebound, and it's tied at 25. Ball has a half dozen. I think Duke misses Peppy Brown in that lineup right now. She's got the 1 foul. Van Gorp. Rebound to Coco Miller, out to Kelly. Georgia winning the battle of the boards, 12-5 so far. Kelly Miller really does a nice job, Mike, setting up the offense. When she comes down the floor, she really splits the court. Miller got the bucket and the foul. Georgia has gotten the right bounce 2 of the last 3 possessions. Georgia doing such a good job on the defensive end because Duke is frustrated on the offensive end. So now you come back down on the other end. A lot of hustle play right here. Little reaching in by Duke, and Duke is a little soft right now on the defensive end. Miller, an 83.8% free throw shooter, misses her opportunity for a 3-point play. But Georgia has the lead. Both these teams shoot well from the free throw line. Got Van Gorp isolated, wheels into a double team, the bucket and the foul on Ball. That time, man, it looked like she had her mind really made up what she wanted to do. You can see it happening. She is turning right every time, I should say to the left every time. It's already going. Boom, she, as you said, she's already made up her mind. The defense is too slow over there to help out. And Andy Landers has said we need to double team her because she has trouble getting the ball and really concentrating on that shot. But once she turns, they've got to force her to pass that ball back out to the perimeter. Van Gorp couldn't put the Blue Devils back ahead, in and out, but a nice rebound of Lauren Rice. Lauren Rice has really been an X factor for this Duke team. She's come off the bench and really been a spark. The way she played in the regional. Van Gorp wants the ball again. Rice drives instead, but lost it. Erwin Osbolt pulls up, forced the shot. Excellent defense by Schweitzer. Might have gotten away with a little travel, too. Versatility of Erickson being able to handle a point with Hillary Howard out. Schweitzer to Van Gorp, baseline. Oh, a nice catch by Lauren Rice. It really was. Van Gorp just took her angle away. She took that big step baseline and was behind the board, but the defense of Georgia there again. 3-second violation called against the Blue Devils. Duke just really doesn't look in sync. No, that's the perfect phrase for it. Timeout with 4:36 to go, first half, tied at 27. You get the idea that Van Gorp that time was just trying to go the other way to get rid of that sagging defense. That was the first time she went, and she's got to realize where she is on the block down there. And she doesn't like to go below the lower box because it takes her out of position for that shot when she's turning right. And you see what side of the lane she likes to line up on so she can turn to the lane. Jennifer, how about Van Gorp so far from your viewpoint?
I think she looks good, but I think she's going to have to post up a little closer to the basket because I definitely agree with what Anna's saying. They need to get her close in the lane, turn around to shoot. That's her game.
All right, thanks, Jennifer. Coco Miller hits the jump shot that puts Georgia back on top by 2. They are 0.2 of a point apart in their scoring area. Kelly at 18-6, Coco at 18-4. Schweitzer, nice pass inside, and Parent gets the bucket.
It's a nice look by Schweitzer.
Now they're playing 5-on-4 because Van Gorp lost their mouthpiece, and late getting down court, no one is able to score.
Dolan really stepping up off the bench for Georgia. She's been a nice addition in this lineup.
She's come through with 8. Georgia back on top by 2. And Van Gorp is held by Ball. That's going to be 2 on Angie Ball. Vishniakova already has 3 and McDonald has 2. So the Georgia defensive post players getting in a lot of foul trouble, much to the disgust of Andy Landers.
And Duke has to be patient. You know, there's still another 20 minutes left to go after this 3:34. And they have to realize, as Van Gorp, and we talked before the game, that she cannot get frustrated. She needs to be patient because teams bang her up a little bit. But she's got to realize she's already got 3 players in foul trouble, and she'll have, by the end of the game, if she stays out of foul trouble, the advantage.
Van Gorp hits the free throw. She'll get another early with 5 points. Early in her career at Purdue, she suffered a foot fracture that gave her terrible pain. It was misdiagnosed and wasn't corrected until much later in her career. And really, as a senior, is when she has really stepped up and played much, much better. She is the first team Kodak All-American this year.
Pain, you just couldn't explain it.
In the first national semifinal, Louisiana Tech and Purdue, both #1 seeds, coming up your way about a half an hour when this is done. And that is the premier matchup, the #3 and #1 teams in the nation.
Right now, I think Georgia's done a really good job on Michelle Van Gorp, kind of tying her up. She is going to turn to that left side. She likes to get the ball a little bit away from the basket to give herself a little bit more room. But then you're shooting a 5 to 8 footer.
They've held her to 6 first-half points. On the other hand, she has not picked up a foul in this game, which is welcome news for Gail Gessencourt.
She averages just under 17 points and just over 5 rebounds. So, you know, she's not a player that they constantly look at because they're a very balanced scoring team.
Kelly Miller with a tough shot. Lauren Rice with a rebound, wraps it up, waits for Erickson.
And again, Duke controlling the tempo on those defensive boards, walking it up, making Georgia play in a half-court game.
Rice kicks it outside. There's the 3 by Hillary Howard. It just checks back in.
I like how Georgia gets the ball out of the basket quickly after a made basket.
Erwin Oswald, a little off balance on that shot, and Rice with another rebound.
You know, Erwin Oswald was inserted into the lineup against Clemson. She's had 2 really good games these last 2 games against Clemson and Iowa State, but before that, the 4 games before that, she didn't score a point.
Howard against Coco Miller, goes to Van Gorp, her favorite move into the lane. Once she's able to spin that way, she can out-jump anybody. She's going to hit that shot 90% of the time.
And did you see where she received it? She received it just below the free throw line. She likes to give herself space.
36-31. Erwin Oswald, Nolan inside the three-point line, short on the jumper. Howard with a rebound. You sense another one of these Duke runs. They've shown us throughout the tournament that they can do it. Howard kicks it outside. Here's another 3. That would have been huge. Miller with a rebound, but Schweitzer finally couldn't hit one. Coco Miller with a 3. That's huge the other way.
Coco Miller, who was held scoreless against Clemson, and she went 0 for 3 at the beginning of the game. Andy Landers sat her down on the bench, but she's coming to play in this game.
She has 10 in this one, and the lead cut back to 2. Erickson rims out. Offensive rebound of Van Gorp. Nearly stolen away. 14-footer. You very often overlook the scoring of Hillary Howard because she's such a good point guard, but she averages almost 9 points a game and is one of the best three-point shooters this school has ever had.
She's got a career high 22 points, so she can put them up there.
Nolan working on Rice. Georgia's gone cold.
And good blockouts by Duke.
Howard again.
Georgia, the team that likes to run. Duke is getting it done.
Good decision by Erickson to back out. Things were a little out of control. Erickson to Van Gort. Great feed by Erickson. She realized she couldn't go all the way in, pulled up and dished it.
Duke really does a good job as far as spreading the defense and leaving that lane wide open for the penetration.
Coco Miller, who has the hot hand for her club, to Erwin Osborne. Back to Coco Miller. Tough shot from the baseline, won't go. Van Gort for the rebound, and Duke with a shot at the last two of the half.
And look at him push it.
Rice, 2 on the clock. And Lauren Rice didn't seem to be aware of the shot clock and lost the ball.
I think they're a little tired.
I think you're right. Duke squanders an opportunity at the end, but a nice run for the Blue Devils, and they are up by 6 at the half. And coming up at halftime, Robin Roberts, Mimi Griffin, and Rebecca Lobo bring you up to date. They'll have Carolyn Peck, the Purdue coach, having such a brilliant year live, and also have first half of analysis. And our halftime story is 40-34 Duke. Let's go to Robin right now. She has shot the ball very well from the outside. All SEC, also a district academic All-American, as is her sister.
Both of them pre-med majors. Their parents are teachers.
They got a lot going for them, don't they? Baseline jumper by Coco Miller. She has a dozen, and the lead's cut to 4. It's been a very well officiated ball game. Yarborough, Balcu, Moreno, and DeMeo have done an excellent job. Double team. Van Gort goes sprawling on the baseline. Erickson gets it back to her. Van Gort hits a 3. Michelle Van Gort with her second three-point shot of the entire year.
Oh, my.
That'll put a stake right in your heart.
Well, she does like to get the ball away from the basket.
Erwin Osborne will launch one. Short McDonald with a rebound, and McDonald may have pushed off. And she did. That'll be 3 on McDonald. Obviously, Duke has the connection with the Final Four with her men's team being in there. But McDonald also has a connection. Her first cousin is the starting center for Michigan State. Antonio Smith both played at Flint Northern for their high school ball. So she's got a rooting interest in the Final Four as well. And
also the fact that Georgia was the other team in 1983 where both the men's and women's program went to the Final Four.
Van Gort dogged by ball. She'll try it again. Michelle Van Gort has 15. Duke may have found something here, and Van Gort with another rebound. The lead has grown to 9. She's got 4 boards. Peppy Brown, great catch. Stopped on a dime and laid it in, and Duke has its biggest lead of the ballgame.
Andy Lander is telling his team to calm down a little bit.
And he's going to get McDonald right back in the game, foul trouble or no.
Well, what, again, the second half coming out has enabled Duke to come out and Coco Miller with another basket. She's the only one scoring for Georgia right now, but Duke has been able to look for Van Gort because of not having any fouls. She can play a lot more freer and go after Georgia.
Howard learns around the screen, goes to Van Gort into the lane. Short on that one, but Peppy Brown kept it alive. Now knocked outside to Coco Miller. Peppy Brown is around. You better hang on to that basketball because she'll swat at it.
Boy, she just sneaks out of nowhere.
Nice entry pass, but the shot partially blocked as Vishniakova tried to score in close, and right back the other way for Erickson. Maybe a little too quick.
Not a great decision by Erickson. One of the few, though, that she...
That's right. 17-19 to go in the ballgame. They'd certainly like to get Kelly Miller on track, as well as her twin sister.
And you would think Georgia would try to go inside to Angie Ball with the height advantage she has against Peppy Brown. Peppy Brown, though, screening out, getting the body on Angie Ball that time, and Ball coming up with the foul.
Ball picks up her third, so Ball has 3, Vishniakova has 3, and Tawana McDonald has 3 for Georgia. And Andy Landers getting in a bind with his big people.
It's a bench that does produce for this Georgia Lady Bulldog team, but also it is not a deep bench.
And with that foul trouble, they're getting shallower all the time. Erickson. Van Gorp against the double team. Nice kick out to Howard for 3. Van Gorp got a hand on it, but Miller brings it down for Georgia. Coco on the run to her sister Kelly. Ball, offensive rebound, swatted away. Erwin Osbolt, who was married December 22nd, had 800 people at the wedding.
Squeezed it in between the season.
McDonald leans in on Van Gorp and draws the first foul on the 6'6" senior center. And if you had told Coach Gestencourt that she could have gotten to the 16:27 mark without getting the first foul on her All-American center, she would have been delighted.
You know, this Duke team is familiar with this arena. They played in the tournament, the 4 in the fall, which was a tournament here with Duke, UConn, Stanford, and Arkansas. Arkansas was a Final Four team last year, did not make the NCAA tournament. Stanford was out in the first round.
Right.
Connecticut out in the Sweet 16. And Duke, who was really riddled with injuries, comes, and they're back in San Jose. They found their way all the way back.
They got off to a horrid start. Lost 3 of their first 4. McDonald misses the second. 47-39. Georgia's defense is going to have to get a little tougher here. Will lay off Brown in the second half. They know she wants to drive.
You see the double team. They're really trying to sag in.
Great pass to Schweitzer, the basket, and the foul.
What's happening, they're concentrated on Van Gorp so much that they're leaving other players open. This Duke team is a team that constantly cuts. They got standing a little bit in the first half, but that time a nice cut by Schweitzer on the baseline. Howard seen her because the defense had moved up on Van Gorp and left that lane down low. Weak side, wide open.
Beautiful overhead two-hand pass. And the three-point play for Georgia Schweitzer. She has 11 in the ballgame. The East Regional MVP, who had a career-high 23 against Tennessee, makes the steal here. Duke on a roll against Georgia.
You have to remember this Georgia team is a very young team.
Vishniakova, what a move, but the shot wouldn't fall. Oh, they call an offensive foul against Van Gorp as she came down with a rebound.
Well, she just kind of shrugs her shoulders and laughed. That happened to her against Tennessee, and nothing you can do.
She's got that gangly body, and when she gets the elbows out, sometimes she gets called for fouls that she's not guilty of. 15:34 to go in the ball game. Schweitzer with offense and defense.
Run here in the second half, but what has impressed me the most is Georgia Schweitzer. She's playing with an injured shoulder. She has a loose shoulder joint, so anything that she does above her head is going to affect her and potentially cause a dislocation, but she's playing with a lot of heart here today. Back to you guys.
And she may face surgery after the season, Jennifer. Never a good prospect.
Only a sophomore. She learned how to play basketball with her brothers. Her dad built a basketball court in the back, and the brothers said, okay, we'll let you play, and would beat her all the time.
Erwin Osbolt, as Georgia needs to get back into its offense and start cutting into this gap. 10 on the shot clock. Kelly Miller, great ball handler. This won't fall for her.
There's Georgia Schweitzer's father, George Schweitzer from Honolulu, Ohio. As we said, he built a basketball court. And they'd all go out there and play. And that's how she learned how to play the game with her brothers.
She learned it very, very well. Howard, nice drive, cut off by Vishniakova, but got it to Peppy Brown. The bucket wouldn't fall, but she does draw the foul.
Duke continuing to mix things up. They're going inside off penetration. They're going inside off the pass, and they're kicking it out to the perimeter game. So it's really, obviously, the kind of game you want to play, inside-outside game.
One of the things they seem to do so well is they catch those passes on their cuts, and that's not the easiest thing in the world to do.
No, it's not, especially when you're moving like that, but they have great control.
Brown hits the first. She'll get another. 9 points for Peppy Brown off the bench. That's her average for the season.
And look at the stat starting out in the second half. Obviously, the first 5 minutes of the beginning of the game or the half, and Duke has kind of started where they left off in that first half. They're just running and getting good shots.
The lead back to 15. 3 Duke players in double figures in this game. Kelly Miller with a good look at that one and knocks it down. Miller with half a dozen.
That's the first time she's been able to come off a screen like that, wide open, looking for the shot.
Coming off a career-high 33 against Iowa State. Good catch by Van Gorp, but then when she put the ball down on the floor, she created the turnover.
If the officials looking at Van Gorp for her to be the foul, that'll be her third.
She got the first one at 16:09. Now that's 14:25, so she picked up 3 fouls in a minute and a half.
And good job by Georgia. They are just triple teaming now. They're just dropping down. Duke's got to take advantage of the outside shot because Van Gorp, as soon as she's turning to the left, they're collapsing on her.
McDonald goes right to work on her, and McDonald scores inside. She has 9.
And how quickly the Blue Devils scored their points. Georgia is the type of team that scores in spurts too. Then they'll come right at you.
Now let's see if they get a good look at a 3 on this trip down. Van Gorp. Erickson. Georgia's doing a better job defensively.
Well, they know they have the advantage also now with Van Gorp with 3 fouls. If they're smart, they continue to take it at her, and Van Gorp has to stay off the backs, and that's where she gets called for a lot of fouls, is reaching over on rebounds.
And Gail Gestencourt is showing no sign of wanting to get her out of the ball game. 4 points now for Vishniakova.
Vishniakova has the height advantage against Peppy Brown, and that's one thing Georgia did not do in the first half, is take advantage of their post players against Peppy Brown, getting the ball down low.
54-45. Howard nearly taken away by Miller. Schweitzer. Howard, 2 to shoot. And that's a shot clock violation that did not hit the rim. Georgia has ratcheted up the defense. This Sunday, Albert Bell and the Orioles travel to Havana to battle the Cuban national team. The first time in over 40 years that a Major League Baseball team has played in Cuba. See it here on ESPN this Sunday, 11:55 a.m. Eastern. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Part of the Go Network, Go.com. It will be interesting to see that ball game. The Cubans have just recently switched to wooden bats. It's going to be a tremendous disadvantage after using aluminum for a long time to have to adjust to those wooden bats, but I'm sure they are absolutely thrilled to have this opportunity.
No, in 59 last time, the LA Dodgers used to go down to Cuba all the time.
Anything about the Dodgers, you know.
Don would tell me stories about those times.
12:53 to go in this one. The lead has been sliced from 15 to 9.
If Georgia's going to do anything, it's going to be because of their defense. They're going to get shots inside. They're going to get some outside shots from the Millers. But it's their defense that have to really start controlling the tempo of the game.
McDonald tried a tough shot that time. Van Gorp out of the ball game. Peyton Black is in there for her in the middle, and Erickson is going to draw the foul on Nolan.
Duke, the perimeter players may not have the quickness or speed as the Georgia players, but they continue to drive to the basket. They are very good at creating contact and forcing the foul.
Erickson goes to the line. She had a strange regional. She had hit 34 straight free throws, then missed 3 out of 5 in a stretch.
Against Tennessee in the beginning of that game. And then, at the end,
she made them all.
Made them all when it counted.
It's both of these, and Erickson in double figures with 10. 4 Blue Devils in double figure scoring. Tremendous battle. Kelly Miller gets it to McDonald. Rims out. Rebound to Schweitzer. When Georgia misses a couple of shots in a row, Duke has really hurt him. Black wheels into the lane, got the roll. Peyton Black with her first bucket of the ball game, the senior from Westchester, Pennsylvania.
And she is the number 6 all-time scorer at Duke.
And now she doesn't get many minutes at all. Coco Miller in and out, and Peppy Brown really skied for that rebound. She is their leading rebounder at 5'11", and she's got great hands.
Georgia out-rebounded Duke by 1 in the first half, but Duke is a team that they get the rebounds when they need them at key times.
Brown, I was going to say she got away with one, but she didn't. Peppy Brown called for the offensive foul as she was just out of control and lost her balance. That's 2 on Peppy Brown. There's a timeout with 11:26 on the clock. Duke trying to get to the national championship game up by 13.
At Invest.
The scoring machine, Lynette Woodard. And then the newest member of the squad, Shamiqua Holdsclaw. These 4 are the only players in the history of the women's game to be named Kodak All-Americans each of their 4 years. And Ann Myers, let me congratulate you, and you certainly belong on that list. If they're going to put 4 women down in the history of college basketball, you've got to be on.
Well, thanks. I'd first of all like to say thank you to Kodak, because without Hunter Lowe and Ken Mason and their foresight to support women's basketball, none of this would have been happening. And there's another one along the way. Tamika Catchings has made her second All-American team and has got a good chance of being 4 times.
And we'll get to know Shamiqua Holdsclaw a little better between these ball games. Georgia having a tough time getting the ball inbound. 11:05 to go in the game. The lead is 13. Coco Miller. They try to go inside to McDonald. Peyton Black knocks it away. Kelly Miller with a save. And McDonald with a nice touch. Put it up and in.
Nice touch by McDonald. Andy Landers says that she's one of the hardest working players he's ever had. And he's had Janet Harris and Katrina McClain, both players of the years and All-Americans here at Georgia. But he says McDonald's going to be a good one.
She has 11. And the lead is 11. Howard. Too strong. Kelly Miller kicks it out to her sister Coco. Back to Kelly. McDonald again. He's shown some range. McDonald with 13. She only averages 8.9. And single-handedly, she's cut the lead to single figures.
She likes that free throw area.
And Michelle Van Gorp is up and ready at the next dead ball. Rice wide open from 15. Can't get it. McDonald another rebound.
Now in the last few games, Lauren Rice is knocking those shots down.
Kelly Miller. Oh, what a pass to Nolan. What a pass by Kelly Miller.
The weave just put everybody to sleep, and as soon as the penetration came in, they thought Miller was going to shoot the shot. Great pass.
This has been such a game of streaks. First one team will get hot for 4 or 5 buckets, and then the other comes roaring back at them. And we're down to the 9:43 mark. Georgia has gone on a 6-0 run, and they've cut the lead to 7.
Just big shutouts right here. Good drive by Kelly Miller, going with the right hand, seeing Deanna Nolan cutting baseline, and Nolan has done a good job when she has come in off the bench, staying down low. She knows where she's effective, getting the basketball right around the basket area.
She's a wonderful athlete. And if you're a point guard, you're really smart if you look to get the ball to great athletes.
She had a game earlier this season. She went in for a dunk, but she got fouled on the way. Nice
Schweitzer blocked by McDonald. And here comes Keisha Brown. And she's fouled.
Keisha Brown, a sophomore, she hurt her knee her freshman year. She was a National High School Player of the Year, but look at the defense right here. Double team McDonald coming out of nowhere. She missed the first 7 games McDonald did of the season with a knee injury and is already going to break Tracy Henderson's record of block shots for a freshman. She's got 57 block shots right now. And think how many more block shots if McDonald had played those first 7 games.
Absolutely. Brown was the National Player of the Year, trying to come back from those 2 operations. The lead is 6. 13-4 run for the Lady Bulldogs. Van Gorp under pressure hits another one. Van Gorp with 17, and she's hit some shots that have to stun Georgia a little bit. Howard turned her head, and when she did, Kelly Miller blew by her, and then Howard committed the foul.
Atrocities.
Georgia Schweitzer on the defensive end. You see the offensive end. You see the pick that she set on McDonald. Just freed up Van Gorp enough to get the ball and then turn and get her shot off.
Miller will shoot to 1-1. She'll get another, an 83% free throw shooter.
And both Kelly and Coco Miller played soccer in high school. It wasn't just basketball, but Kelly Miller, the older of the two, was number 23. The twins would sit in the basement and watch films of Michael Jordan and then go out there and practice all his moves.
I guess they even practiced his moves on the soccer field because they were all state. Coco led the state in scoring in soccer. They didn't play when they were seniors to concentrate on basketball. Van Gorp, good kick out to Erickson. 8 on the shot clock. Howard, bumped by Nolan, no call. Baseline, forced it up. Now the foul with 2 on the shot clock.
And got bailed out. Probably could have called a foul on Nolan out high on the perimeter, but the smart senior, Hillary Howard, little pump fake and getting Nolan up in the air, who also likes to block shots. And, you know, you tell players, I mean, here Howard is 5'6", and Nolan is 5'10". All she's got to do is stand there. The taller players still like to block shots.
Sure. Howard hits the first free throw. Number 1 all-time in assists, number 3 all-time in three-point shots. She's had a tremendous career. 2-time All-ACC player. Gives the lead back to Duke by 8.
Duke has gone into that zone.
Brown. And Lauren Rice with a rebound. 8:22 and counting for the right to go to the national championship game.
Duke really trying to get the ball inside of Van Gorp. See, even when she turns, she's looking to pass the ball, open things up, spot shooters.
Schweitzer misses the 3. McDonald got the rebound. Brown missed the jump shot.
Keisha Brown hasn't had a lot of playing time, but coming down, making 2 decisions on taking the shot rather than kind of working the ball around and getting set in the offense.
Erickson, nice behind the back to get free, and the foul will be called on Brown in the lane. She thought she got all ball.
Well, it sure looked like it, but again, give credit to Nicole Erickson, as far as taking a one-on-one situation. They basically cleared it out for Erickson down the middle. Little hesitation right there, but with Brown coming across, that's where they're calling the foul.
Got her with the body, even though she blocked the shot. Erickson hits the free throw. Duke has hit 11 out of 13 from the free throw line. They have a huge advantage in the game in that department. Andy Landers will get Keisha Brown out of the ball game. Georgia's hit only 4 out of 7. And each time Georgia has closed and Duke has had the answer, they just spurted back ahead. 7:38 to go in the ball game. Duke once again up by 10. 54 with 7:38 to go in our first national semifinal from San Jose, California. The second game, Louisiana Tech against Purdue. And Duke, of course, only the second school in the history of the NCAA to send both its men's and women's program into the Final Four. Georgia did it in '83. Neither their men's nor women's team survived the semis.
And in the NCAA tournament, Duke has been holding their opponents to 63 points and under, which most of the teams have been averaging over 80.
Vishniakova is back in the ballgame. So is Nolan. Shot clock is down to 11. Vishniakova from 17. Bodies fly. Coco Miller. Van Gorp for the rebound. Ahead to Erickson. Coco Miller gets back. Erickson pulls up. Van Gorp had a hand on it. Nearly had the follow, and here comes Kelly Miller. Van Gorp for the rebound, and she is fouled.
You would think that that would be the pace that Georgia wants, but
yes,
the shots aren't falling for them. The turn to the left.
The first All-American ever for Duke women's basketball. She was named a third-team Associated Press All-American earlier in the week. And then the Kodak All-American team, which is the one the women follow the closest. She's hit 3 out of 4 free throws today as well and approaching a double-double. 20 and 10 would get it done. Nice soft touch, 19 points for the All-American center, and it's 66-54. Miller fouled by Parent on the drive. That'll be 3 on from Akron, Ohio.
Parent has come in and done a pretty good job on the defensive end, and that's why she is in there playing defense. Peppy Brown only played 12 minutes in the first half with only 1 foul, and I'm surprised that she's not in the game.
Me too. Coco Miller with a miss on the front end of a 1-and-1. That's big, especially at this stage of the game. Duke, a senior leadership team. Georgia is young. It's got to be a big advantage down the stretch. And here's a collision between Miller and Parent. Let's see who picks up the foul. It's going to be on Coco Miller.
That play right there, Michelle Van Gorp is past the three-point line, Mike, on the top of the key, which opens up the whole inside game for cutters. And that time, Parent did cut to the basket. Defense was a little too late getting over, but it just opens everything up when Van Gorp's out of there.
Parent misses the first of a 1-and-1. So missed opportunities exchanged. Time will soon become a factor. 6:20 and counting in this game. Nolan down the lane, put it up. McDonald with a follow-and-cheat foul.
I don't care if she misses that shot. That is such a nice shot. Going to the left hand, too. Real soft off the glass. It doesn't fall, but good heads-up play by McDonald going to the offensive glass and getting the rebound.
And Parent quickly picked up her 4th personal, so McDonald will go to the line for a pair. She's done a pretty good job of staying out of foul trouble today, too, even though she has 3.
She picked up those early fouls, but Duke has done a good job just shadowing whoever does not have the ball. If it's Coco Miller, they're in her face. If it's Kelly Miller, they're in her face. They do not want that other Miller twin getting the ball in the offense.
McDonald misses the second. The lead is 11. Good screen by Lauren Rice. They get Howard free. And you can see Georgia cranking up the defensive pressure again. Erickson, nice fake to get by Miller. Beautiful move by Erickson. She has 14.
And did you see how Van Gorp just floated out of the key again to open things up, so the defense went with Van Gorp.
an impossible shot. Got it back, and it was knocked out of bounds. It's out to the Lady Bulldogs.
Erickson's possession, I thought they were going to show it, but again, Duke is really playing well as far as opening things up on the inside game for themselves.
Van Gorp with a big block on McDonald. 5:24 to go, and the Duke fans on their feet. Howard. Shot clock down to 7. Howard's got to get rid of it. Good job by Coco Miller to get out on top of her. Now she's got to call the timeout.
On offense, and they're going to really have to get involved here if George is going to come back. Really, I think they're going to have to look to really take things over right now. Back to you, Mike.
Very much. And it's tremendous pressure on those kids when they come in here averaging so many points, and they only have 22 between them. And Kelly Miller, there's Marvin Cathy.
And her sister and brother. As a matter of fact, there's about 12 years, even more, between Coco and Kelly and her sister and brother. They'd like to take over, but Duke is doing such a good job keeping the ball out of the Miller's hands.
One on the shot clock, and Erickson hits it. 16 for her. Duke up by 15. Every possession now will be huge for Georgia. McDonald, what a beautiful pass. Kicks it inside to Deanna Nolan.
When Duke is double teamed down low like that, Georgia's been doing a good job getting the ball to the weak side post.
Excellent ball movement by the Blue Devils. Wide open, Erickson for 3. 19 for Nicole Erickson.
If you're going to press Duke, boy, you better get somebody back, because Duke tore apart Tennessee's press. Not only passing, but dribbling. They had a tough time figuring it out.
The only trouble they had really was against ODU, and they felt they were mugged in that game.
And it was hard to kind of figure out where Old Dominion was going to go in their press.
Kelly Miller, shot clock down to 5, out to Erwin Osborne. She had to force it up, not a good shot, and it's knocked out of bounds to Georgia.
Now, see, I don't think that hit the rim, and Gail Getson, of course, is saying the shot clock should still be down. They reset it on the 32nd.
I thought it nicked it.
I didn't think it did, but we'll see what they decide.
She's questioning, and now the officials are going to talk it over.
It was close. It might have hit it, but it didn't have any trajectory off of it to look like it hit off the rim.
Now they're going to check with the scorer's table.
Down to 2 seconds on the shot clock.
Well, you were right as usual.
No.
I'm really getting tired of that, you know? The shot clock was a championship game, and the shot clock, not a violation. They got the shot off in time, but it makes no difference.
And it was a good shot, and Duke just sat back and let him take it.
Howard, outstanding ball handler.
And the cuts by Duke, they just get away enough to get a good pass.
Coco Miller just got away with a hole.
I know.
Rice. And it's out of bounds out to Duke. Coco Miller grabbed one of those cutters and just horse-collared it.
I was surprised. I was like, okay, let me through.
Erickson has the last 7 points for the Blue Devils and 19 for the game. She and Van Gorp both had 19. Howard to Erickson. Van Gorp low. Rice will fire from the outside. It's a 3. Her first bucket of the ball game, and that was huge because the lead is now 19. Maybe insurmountable no matter what Georgia does. Coco Miller with a follow off her sister's miss. And Andy Landers will call timeout with 2:56 to go in the game. But he is still down by 17. Is it the year of the Blue Devils? Every game, it seems. And, boy, they have a big leg up on the 2 hands.
They really have done a good job controlling not only the tempo, but being poised, because Georgia has made some good runs at them, and they haven't gotten rattled.
We saw it against Tennessee. Tennessee made the big second-half run. Duke stood its ground and then sprinted back out to an untouchable lead. The Duke president, who along with her athletic director, will be going back and forth between the men's and women's Final Four. It's a wonderful task if you have to have one. Have that much success from your two basketball teams. Duke doesn't seem rattled by full court pressure. They handle the ball so well and pass it so well.
And they never seem to look for just one person. Everybody's really involved, and they're just not relying on one person, and sometimes you can get caught standing.
Schweitzer cuts to the basket, can't get there. Coco Miller back the other way to her sister Kelly for three. Georgia needs all of those to fall.
And they know exactly where each other are on the floor.
Kelly Miller hits the three with 2:17 to go in the game. That cuts it to 14 points.
Her first three-pointer. She averages 4 3-pointers a game, taking 4 3-pointers, and I think that's the first one she's taken. Coco
Miller gambles on the steal, knocks it out of bounds with 22 on the shot clock, 2:03 on the game clock. Of course, Purdue plays in the second game, and there is a very strong Purdue connection on this Duke team. What a matchup that would be. Nicole Erickson and Michelle Van Gorp transferred out of Purdue when Lynn Dunn was the coach there and lost her job. And Erickson and Van Gorp felt that Lynn Dunn was not treated right. Anyways, Nell Fortner came in, did a tremendous job. Then she became the Olympic coach, and now Carolyn Peck has brought them to the Final Four. And those two transfers have a combined 38 points in the national semifinal. Murphy back the other way. She launches the three and hit it. And where has she been all game? She's a 5'6" freshman out of Syracuse, New York. She's a 30% long-range shooter on the season. Schweitzer stolen by Nolan. Here comes the run. Kelly Miller with a bucket. And now a timeout. And that's called by the Blue Devils of Duke. A rare turnover in the second half of this game. The lead is cut to 9 with 1:22 to go. We have seen stranger things happen. Back after this. Give up. They score a three-pointer, get right into the press. And Deanna Nolan, who's known for her defense, right there on Schweitzer, who does not do a good job taking care of the basketball. And the Lady Bulldogs keep coming at you. It was a very casual pass by Schweitzer. It's almost like when Georgia hit the three-pointer and then coming out taking the ball out of bounds, like, well, we've got the lead, we're going to play not to lose. Right. Georgia's hit 4 of its last 5 shots, including a pair of bombs from beyond the arc. Van Gorp, and she's fouled immediately by Vishniakova, who picks up her 5th. Well, and a good move by Georgia to put Duke on the free throw line. They've got to save as much time as they can on the clock, and Duke is a good free throw shooting team, as we've mentioned. They picked on the one player, according to the stats, who is probably not going to hurt you as badly, but Van Gorp is 4 out of 5 from the line today. That's 80%. And she only shoots 59.7 for the season. She hit some big ones against Tennessee also. And sometimes statistics lie. Looking like a pressure player. 20 points, 9 rebounds for Van Gorp. She's only had 1 double-double in her career, and that was against Clemson, and they lost that game. She had 35 points, 11 rebounds. Well, if she gets a double tonight, they're not going to lose. One more rebound might do it. And Lauren Rice, who played so well in the regionals, gets that rebound alive, and it goes back to Duke, a fresh 30 on the shot clock. 8 rebounds for Lauren Rice off of Gail Gestentor's bench. is just letting time run off the clock. I don't think they have this time. Erickson finishes it off. Erickson with 22. And Rice hustling again. Point shot. Kelly Miller can't get her shot.
I mean, you would think that one of the Miller twins would take the last shot.
Nolan will drive. Knocked away by Rice and stolen by Van Gort. And Duke goes to the final game. The chance for a national championship Sunday night.